Oh, hey there strangers, my name's Neos, and man, I sure am tired of these lovingly crafted gaming experiences that I enjoy playing. If only there was a genre of games whose meteoric rise in popularity had led everyone on the planet to try to cash in without any regards to quality control or artistic integrity. Wait!
NeonNeos! It's so shiny!
Battle Royale. You would be hard-pressed to find another pair of words over the past couple of years that would cause more collective eye-rolling and sighing. Despite only being birthed into existence in late 2017 with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, into the mainstream anyways, we all know there's been several cases of older games having very similar gameplay modes, but you very well know what I'm talking about. But over the past only year and a half, we've all been beaten over our collective gamer heads with the constant success, failure, and desire for everyone and their mom's uncle's dog to try their hands at the new hotness. That being said, I've never actually been the biggest fan of the current craze. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the idea of Battle Royale. There's just something really intriguing about the idea of a Hunger Games style or Battle Royale style survival scenario where you and up to 100 other players are dropped onto an island virtually naked, where you're forced to scavenge for all of your equipment so you have the ghost of a chance to survive the next few minutes as the arena slowly shrinks in, forcing players to kill everyone around them until you're the last person standing. It's a really cool idea. Granted, it's not the most unique, it's just a large-scale elimination deathmatch with a huge map, a buttload of players, and a random weapon chance, but, you know, it's fun mode just the same. However, despite all the praise I just spewed on this new-ish game genre, I've never actually felt it's been done well. I've played a good chunk of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Fortnite, and even a bit of Call of Duty's bandwagon cash grab mode, but I've always had this lingering feeling that just hadn't hit quite the right mark. Something just wasn't being considered in the gameplay or design to really capitalize on this fledgling game mode. That is, until earlier this month, a new titan of a game suddenly fell from the sky right into our laps. Pause for applause for terrible pun, and thank you. So it's no secret to those who watch my gameplay channel, streams, or follow me on Twitter that I am a big Titanfall 2 fan, like a huge fan of that game. Zippity zoop, here I goop. I don't know what that means. Hi. Hey buddy, how's it going? As far as I'm concerned, it stands as the best, most fun online multiplayer shooter experience out there, even years after its release. But what if I told you that the same developers of that very game were making a new game, and that it would be free, and the game would be set in the Titanfall universe, and the game had no titans, and no wall running, and no single player. In fact, you're forced to play in a team of 3 whether you like it or not. And it's basically just Respawn's own take on the Battle Royale genre? Not exactly the most appealing sounding package, is it? Well, guess what? It's awesome! This is Apex Legends, a game where, much like your typical Battle Royale style game, you're dropped from the sky from an airplane, or a school bus hot air balloon thing. Seriously, what the frig is this thing? You fall to the ground with no weapons, scrounge for supplies, and fight to the death, while a ring of unexplained doom encroaches and forces everyone into a smaller radius to fight to the death for supreme supremacy. Yeah, we all know how it works by now. But this game has some nice little variations to help it stand head and shoulders above all other Battle Royale games. No, seriously, between the last sentence and this one, I stopped writing the script for this video to go play a match because talking about this game got me itching to play just one more quick match. So, after way too much hype and buildup, you might be asking, Neos, what could they possibly add to this game a year and a half into this oversaturated market to make it stand out? Well, dear viewer, why don't you just sit back and let me tell you about it. Apex Legends takes place within the Titanfall universe some years after Titanfall 2, and a while after the war taking place in the previous games has long ended. Apex Legends is both the name of the game and of the blood sport that exists within the Titanfall universe. On one of the outer worlds untouched by the havoc of war, the beauty of the untouched landscape makes it an appealing place for people to visit and settle down. But alongside that, with all the wars and stuff having brought about all the crazy technology and warriors with no place to war anymore, they start up a sport in which 20 teams of 3 are dropped onto an island and are forced to battle to the death with whatever items they can find to be declared the ultimate Apex Legends. So Apex Legends is the name of the game within the game, and the name of the winners of the game within the game. Confusing enough for you? Good. So, with all of the backstory out of the way, how about the gameplay? What makes it stand out and so special? Well, how about the crazy idea of having the game run well? Yeah, okay, I know that sounds like a cheap shot at games like PUBG and COD Blackout and such, but seriously, this game runs buttery freaking smooth. As someone who's played around, 100 hours of Titanfall 2's multiplayer, that's only counting the in-game match time, not just having the game running waiting for matches, I gotta say, this game feels like Titanfall 2. If you just add in some mechs and some crazy wall-running mechanics, it would pretty much be identical. And remember, my feelings on Titanfall 2 makes that high praise. But seriously, one of the biggest problems I had with all of the previous Battle Royale games I've ever tried is the game feel. Whether it's due to the game feeling rather, well, just plain jank, or the weapons not feeling good, or anything like that, every weapon I have come across is a piece of crap that takes an hour and a half to mail the bullet to them, and they don't take any damage. I died in a single shot from whatever the crap that was. Luckily, in this game, that problem is easily fixed by the fact that the game is made by the Titanfall devs, it's set in the Titanfall universe, and it comes packed with the Titanfall weapons.
Got the whole squad.
And the weapon system in this game has been made much more simplified and easier to understand at a quick glance. So you've got your basic weapons like pistols, shotguns, rifles, snipers, but spread amongst those is 4 different types of ammo. So you may end up with a pistol that uses heavy rounds, electric rounds, or shotgun shells, but instead of having to know exactly what type of ammo works for what type of gun, each of the ammo types has a very distinct color and icon, so you can quickly tell at a glance if the ammo you're holding works for the gun you have or if both of the guns you have use the same ammo type, which makes it much easier to manage your inventory. And much like most of these games, you're encouraged to scrounge around for all sorts of things like grenades, backpacks, weapon attachments, health kits, and so on. Much to my happiness, simply mousing over any item will give you a slew of information about it, such as weapon attachments telling you their rarity, what type of weapon it's for, if it'll attach to your current weapon, or if it's even better than the item that you're currently holding. And by just picking up an item, it'll automatically equip itself, which is pretty nice. And even better, if you're just running around a room mashing the button to pick up everything you can find just so you can, have items to survive, if you happen to mouse over an item that's not as good as the item you already have equipped, it just won't pick it up, which is kind of freaking nice. So feel free to just run through any room you enter, just mash the pickup button to your heart's content, and even nicer, the inventory menu is insanely streamlined. So at a very, very quick glance, you can see if anything you're holding, whether it be ammo or an attachment, doesn't work with any of your current items, so you can just toss it and make room for other things on the fly. It's super nice. So sure, the guns feel nice, but what else is there to set this game apart from all the other dozen Battle Royale games out there? Well, like I mentioned before, did I mention that before? No, I did not mention that. I should have said before, this game is a class-based hero shooter. Basically, all of the special abilities available to customize your character in the Titanfall games have been broken off and given to specific characters. Want to use the infamous Titanfall grappling hook? Pathfinder is your new best friend! Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Turn that off. Oh, no. Undo that. Undo. Oh, no. Close. Yes. No, close. No. Oh, okay. Fine. Putting a grappling hook down somewhere. Don't worry about it. It's over there now. Want to see through walls? Bloodhound is your man! You want to do things like phase through dimensions and become temporarily invulnerable, send out a holographic clone of yourself, pop smoke, create a shield, call down an airstrike, call it a loot drop. Every character is specialized to help with various battle defense and supportive roles. And each of these characters have both an active and passive special ability, as well as an ultimate ability that will charge up throughout the battle. So a character like Wraith, for instance, hears a voice in her head as her passive ability, and it lets her know when she's in danger or being targeted. And her ultimate allows her to create a portal for her and her teammates to instantly travel between 2 points, which is both good for escaping and for helping a straggling teammate to catch up if they're behind the rest of the group. These characters are all surprisingly unique for a free-to-play game that came out of nowhere with no warning for a genre that's pretty much played itself out and oversaturated itself in less than 2 years. All of this is mixed with the typical Titanfall movement of sprinting and sliding, which in this game will actually pick up speed if you slide down a hill, and it's surprisingly fun. Whee! And the ability to leap up and over walls up to twice your height makes traversing around the map fluid, fun, and you never really feel boxed in or like it's impossible for you to get a better vantage point. And speaking of the map, in typical Battle Royale style, there's a single map where all of the action takes place, and there is a ton of variety to this map. Want to land in a city? How about a multi-level shopping mall? Or a dam/dock with tons of verticality? Or how about a barren, bombed-out wasteland? Or, my personal favorite, how about an old, desolate ghost town built beneath the bones of a massive beast with a 100-foot-tall ribcage? Seriously, this thing is awesome, and a ton of fun to run across, and get a great vantage point for sniping and or scouting out the area. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this game's map, but unlike the maps of games like PUBG, it's not a lot of overly large, huge flat plains where you're guaranteed to get sniped with no hopes of reaching cover. And unlike some of the other games like Fortnite or Call of Duty's Blackout mode, where the areas all feel so different that they feel like they're unrelated areas that were created separately and then slapped down onto a map for the sake of variety, this game's map feels more natural. Likely thanks to the world of Titanfall being so fleshed out that the developers were able to just draw from pre-existing architecture to make it feel more cohesive, but you get my point. Also, each of the areas is actually labeled with the level of loot drops you could expect to find there, which is a really nice touch. Not to mention that each round there are a few randomized factors to try to force players into combat a little bit more quickly, such as, each round there will be at least one, and sometimes more as the match goes on, flying fortress thingy that if you land on it is full of high-level loot. And this game has no fall damage, so after you get all the loot you want, or if you decide it's too hot to handle and just want to bail from the fight, you can just leap off, which is kind of nice. The craft also eventually comes to a stop and drops down a bunch of zip lines for later in the match if you just want to zip line up and down from it, which is kind of neat. There's also a blue circle which is guaranteed to have higher level loot, so a ton of the more aggressive players will always land there and duke it out for some good stuff right off the bat. Not that it necessarily gives them an advantage, there's a ton of good loot strewn throughout the map, they're just more likely to be guaranteed something good more quickly. So, like I said earlier, this game is a squad-based Battle Royale game. And I actually did say that earlier this time, good going me. Meaning you'll be partnered up with 2 other players and thrown into a room of 60 players to battle for supremacy. And yes, this does mean that you can't actually play by yourself. I mean, unless you just run off by yourself like a jerk. Okay. Oh, somebody's already dead. See, maybe you should have run away from the group. You idiots. Or, like me, you've had more than one occasion where your teammates somehow get disconnected before the match even starts, forcing you to face off against 19 teams of 3 players all by yourself. You did disconnect! Is it me by myself? We're gonna do this. We're gonna freaking... I don't even care. It's me. It's me versus everybody! Which, ironically, these were the closest attempts I ever had to victory. Which makes no sense at all. One person left. There's another one by me! But I was so close! Oh, fuck. Oh, come on. But I have to say, while I hope they add in a full deathmatch style battle royale arena mode later, I think the force squad mechanic is a really good idea for getting this game off the ground. The game is built incredibly well around squad cooperation in a way that I'm genuinely impressed with. And hey, guess what? I'm gonna break down just why for you. So, while in most squad-based modes, you either need to bring along friends to even hope for any level of cooperation, or you'll end up with just randos running off by themselves, getting themselves killed, or yelling at you about how much you suck, and the loss was entirely your fault over their mic, despite the fact that they ran off by themselves and got themselves killed. Trust me, I've had that happen, even in this game, more than once already. But outside of the aforementioned character abilities helping out your teammates, there are 2 amazingly vital options that this game offers that I'm astounded no other game has managed to do anywhere near as well. The first is the pinging system. Want your team to drop in or go that way? Point at it, ping it with your mouse, or just open up the map and drop it there. See an enemy? Ping them!
Enemy spotted.
See a door open that means an enemy was there? Leave a different kind of ping that tells everyone to just be on their guard. See an item box, or even a specific item that someone may want? Ping the item.
Body shield here. Level 2. Medkit here.
This places a visual marker on your teammates' screens, as well as your character calling out specifically what you're trying to communicate.
Let's go here.
With this system alone, I've been able to have far more fun and cooperation with random people I've never spoken to without a single one of us saying a word on a mic. Meaning, without even having a microphone, your team can actually coordinate actions and help each other out, which is just astounding. in itself. The second thing is the fact that when a teammate goes down, they're not necessarily out of the fight. And no, I don't mean just your typical character going to the last stand and someone needing to run over and revive them before they bleed out. Sure, that's in this game too, but more importantly, it's the ability to grab what amounts to the dog tags of a fallen ally, run to a respawn point, and call them back into battle. Meaning if even 2/3 of your team dies, you're not out of the fight, and it incentivizes people to stick around even if they've been knocked out. It's a super simple idea that works amazingly well. I've lost count of how many times either I or a teammate has died and someone was forced to either clear out an area of enemies by themselves or rush in, grab the tags, and run off so the person could be brought back, forcing us to then retread ground to re-scavenge for weapons and loot for the now basically naked player. It creates a whole new dynamic situation which has a ton of tense moments. It's a great addition. Basically, the game just feels really good, and Respawn did a great job of revitalizing this tired genre, a genre, as I've mentioned before, I've never actually enjoyed playing all that much except with friends, and made it into something genuinely great. And I can say from experience, and the fact that I've already played about 40 hours into this game that only came out about 2 weeks ago, that this game has the perfect one more time feel. The rounds aren't too long, they're exciting enough, and they're never really just the same thing every time, giving you just that feeling of, I want to go one more time. And before you know it, hours have passed. And the games get started quickly enough that even if your jump leader picks a bad landing spot and you're killed within minutes, it only takes a few more minutes to get back into a new match. Which, considering you're grabbing 60 people, making them all pick characters, and starting up a new server every single time, is pretty impressive. But it's not all rainbows and gumdrops. I have lost track of how many times the game has either just lagged out and teleported me around the place, or just locked me into one spot, unable to move, for up to like 15 or 20 seconds, only to act as if my character's been running along the entire time and just snapping me back a long distance away so that I have no idea what just happened. Luckily, I've never had this actually get me killed, but it would be super easy for that to happen. And just like any other game where RNG is a major defining factor to what items you'll have at your disposal, there's always the chance you'll get stuck running around with pockets full of ammo, medkits, and no gun to fight back with. I actually had a round where me and an ally were running around for 15 minutes with no gun, and the gun I did find had 3 shots, and we had no more ammo for that specific gun, so when we ran out, we had no ammo for our only gun. It was really stupid, but kind of hilarious, and also a super rare occurrence, so I wouldn't expect that to be the norm. There's also a whole bunch of other cool features I haven't even had a chance to talk about just yet, like how your entire squad just swoops in as a group, or how you have a chance to find an item so that whenever you go down, you have a shield to protect yourself long enough for someone else to come revive you, or these really cool finishing moves that I've been showing throughout this video that let you take down the people who have shields so they don't have a chance for people to come pick them up. It's really cool, but if I went over every single thing, I would be here for ages, and while I would be cool with that, this video would be too long. Long story short, I think Apex Legends is an incredibly welcome surprise and definitely worth your time. Even if you're tired of the Battle Royale genre or just never really enjoyed any of the other installments on offer like I was, this is definitely worth a look. And hey, it's free! So you've got nothing to lose, not to mention that it's on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, so there's plenty of opportunity to try it out. We interrupt this review to bring you a breaking news bulletin. While taking a break during the editing of this very video, Neos has actually managed to win a round of Apex Legends! Neos actually won a Battle Royale game! He then proceeded to win 2 more times in a row. It's official! Neos is finally good at video games! Look out, world! I'm unstoppable! Ow! That being said, Apex Legends is a great game, I thoroughly enjoy it, and I'll certainly be playing more of it in my free time. Also, alongside the announcement of Apex Legends came the cancellation of Titanfall 3. Fuck you, Apex Legends, I hate you! So hey, those are my thoughts on Apex Legends. It's a super welcome surprise that came out of nowhere and shows what can be done with this genre, and in my opinion, it does it way better than games like PUBG or Fortnite. But hey, that's just what I think. But hey, I hope you guys have enjoyed, take care, and I will see— Wait, Fortnite lets you fire a rocket launcher from a hoverboard? I take it all back. 10 out of 10. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Congratulations. I hope you guys enjoyed the second review for the channel. Just like last time, I put way too much effort into it. So hopefully you found it informative and it brightened up your day. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters and just people who support me in general. You guys and girls are super awesome. Feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed and subscribe and hit that bell to see future videos first. Catch you guys later.